Let's go ahead and turn our attention to the weather now. I tell you what, Kent, in the first part of this week, Travis was telling us, wait till this weekend. We're going to know more as it gets closer. Looks like it's starting to come together a little bit.
Yeah, and that's what we usually see once we get within about 2-3 days of the forecast. That's when we can really hone in on what's going to happen and start to estimate some of those totals. Now, we'll get to that a little bit later on the show, but right now we're looking out at the capital city on Skycam. I'll step out of the way. You can see some low-hanging clouds. There was a little bit of fog reported earlier this morning in parts of western Iowa and into parts of eastern Nebraska as well. So we did have some low clouds coming through as that cold front came through as well, but that'll lift a little bit later on. Right now, looking at current conditions for the Tri-Cities area, 27 degrees for all three of them, but wind chill is a little bit different for each. Grand Island and Hastings both feel like 16 degrees right now. Feels like 19 there in Kearney. The winds are a little bit slower, around 8 miles an hour this morning versus 13 or 14 for Hastings and Grand Island respectively. Temperatures right now off towards the west, we have 25 in North Platte, 23 right now in McCook. Here for the Tri-Cities, like I said, all around the same temperature. 22 in Ord, though, so a little bit cooler for them. 23 up in O'Neill as well. York this morning at 28 degrees and 29 for Columbus. Lincoln is just below that freezing mark. Now, most of our winds are out of the north and west, and they'll continue to be that way for most of the day today. We're not going to be seeing much variation in those winds, but it will be a little bit on the breezy side, so just enough to knock down that temperature just a little bit with the wind chill. Satellite and radar, you can see off towards the west, there is some light flurries that has happened overnight towards the northwestern sandhills, but it's not really enough to add much to the ground. We aren't going to be seeing anything here in the Tri-Cities this morning, but we do have some of that cloud cover, so unless that burns off, we won't be seeing any warm temperatures through most of the day. Looking through Futurecast now, we'll go ahead and stop it here in late Thursday afternoon. We've got some of that northwestern wind, like I said, that's going to be sticking around. We've got high pressure that's off towards the tri-state area here, southwestern Nebraska, northwestern Kansas, into northeastern Colorado. High pressure centered there. That's going to bring in that cooler air through the day today behind that cold front that passed through last night. Then as we go forward to Friday around 8:30 a.m., it's already starting to see some snow on the map coming towards our area. That's going to be mostly off towards the west initially, then later on into the afternoon, early evening hours, we see rain transitioning to snow across the southern part of the state. We'll step this out about every 4 hours now. This is 8 o'clock on Friday. Looks like we might be seeing, according to this one model, other models have that rain snow line different, but snow coming into the Tri-Cities, according to this one, around 9 o'clock. Then as we head towards 1 a.m. on Saturday, that's when we look at seeing most of that snow start to dry out, a little more dry air coming in, and of course that's always a factor. We'll be tracking out a little bit more detail on that forecast coming up a little later in the show. Russ?